Hello YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. Okay, in this episode we're going to take a look at what I think is one of the best budget looping pedals, right, that's on the market right now. And how this came about is, hopefully you subscribe so that you can follow the channel. And I've done previous videos on looping pedals, in particular the Loop Station RC5, right, which is has a loop pedal with MIDI. We can take a look at it here. Alright, now here's the Boss RC5 with the MIDI control. And we can hear it here. I've got a loop in it. Okay, and notice the LCD screen changes colors, you know. For example, this means that this preset is empty, so I can record on it because it's blue. Hit the recording, it turns red, right? And now hit it again, it starts to play, and it's a green. And if you hit it again to overdub, it's yellow. Like that. Okay. So I suppose it's a little bit different than the RC1 as far as the LCD screen. And it has 99 presets, which means that you could record a loop and then recall it later. You know, which could be handy for some people. Depends. Alright. Okay, and I mean, I've been pretty pleased with the Loop Station RC5. I mean, stereo sound, MIDI control, LCD display, you know, pretty nice. Now, a friend of mine said, hey, I've got this loop pedal and it's used, you know, he used it, and so I'll sell to you really cheaply. And so I agreed, and let's take a look at it. Okay, now here, if you take a look at it, it's in the same casing as the Boss RC5, and this is the Boss RC1, right? And as of this video, new, it's about $120, $119, right, from places like Sweetwater and Zounds and so on and so on. Okay, now compare that to the RC5, right, which is basically $100 more, so you're getting into the $200 range. Pretty much. Okay, maybe even a little more than that. Now, what's the difference? Well, it has the same red casing here. And so I was pretty familiar with it already, because as it turns out, it's not much different than the RC5. I mean, there's a few differences, of course. One thing I was knocked out about is it's a stereo looper, right? And it does, rather than an LCD display, it has this little round display, and then a level knob. And it has stereo inputs and outputs, as well as a expression pedal jack as well, and then the single push button there. So I was really curious to see, how close it would be to the RC5, which I really like and recommend highly. However, I think it's kind of pricey, whereas this is just a bargain, really. I mean, listen, it hasn't been all that long. I mean, maybe, a few years, that I bought a mono looping pedal, boomerang, I mean, even then it was $300. So to have basically two of those in this little tiny red pedal, for about $100, $120 or whatever, right? I suppose if you found a used one, it'd probably be about $100 or whatever. Quite a deal. And don't forget, the battery powered if you want to put a battery in here, or if it's on a pedal board or something, you've got a power source. Or you could use an AC adapter as well. So, I guess what remains to be seen, and what I'm going to do, is on my pedal board, I'm going to replace the RC5 with the Boss RC1. And let's see what happens. Okay, so here we go. There's my poor little RC5. It's disconnected. And instead I have the little RC1 right here. Notice no LCD display. And so I wasn't sure what exactly that would affect, if it'd be really bad. But I was pleasantly surprised. Now here's the way I figured it out. Here's how it works, basically. To record is very simple. You basically press the pedal, and you'll notice here on the right side here, we've got this little LED. And I was quite pleasantly surprised at how bright it is. Take a look. There we go. So there it's recording, and you can see it's just going around and around and around. And then if I hit it again, it starts to play. And what's really interesting is that this round thing, you see the green LED, it actually is timed to show you how long the loop is. Okay? Which is really handy. If you're practicing looping, this is a really good pedal to do that with. And I find that the round circle really lets you know when the loop starts, when it ends. Okay? Like there it's going to end, there it starts. Okay, now, if we want to do an overdub, we hit the pedal again. And now notice, now you have a green and red. So the green's still going along as it was, but now you have a red, right? Which is basically showing you an overdub. The red ring here. So hit it again, and it goes back to green right here, and this is actually playing now the regular first loop that you recorded and the overdub. Okay, now here's another way to do it. Hit it twice like that, and there you'll see you get the 3 green LEDs, and that's paused, right? No audio. And here you've got a choice of either stopping the loop, or let's say you wanted to restart it. Let's say you wanted to say something and then restart the loop, so you would just hit it once more and it goes back to playing the loop. Okay, now another way to do it, hit that again, you're back to the 3 LEDs, And now if you hold down the pedal, it's going to erase it. There we go. Okay, so pretty simple, operation-wise. And in fact, I find that very much kind of like the RC5. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if at the core of the RC1 is very similar to the RC5 as far as operation goes. So operation-wise, it's so simple and very straightforward, which I really like, you know. It's not convoluted or very difficult, that kind of thing. But the next thing to check is, of course, the sound quality. Does it sound as good as the RC5, which sounds very, very good? We'll find out here. So I'm going to go ahead and record a loop. Overdub a bass line. Playing the overdub, so we could add another overdub over that. I'm going to go ahead and start an overdub. Now we've got a level control, which I've just turned, you know, to the minimum so I can talk. And you'll be able to hear me. Well, the sound quality is just fantastic on this unit. Every bit as good as the RC5. You know, so that's really stunning. And here, if I turn it back up. I'm going to hit the two switches real fast, and let's see what that does. There. So it's stopped, but it's not erased, so I can restart it. Or if I hit it twice again. Okay, and hit it again. If I hold down the pedal, it erases that loop. And that's it. So it's a real basic looper. However, the sound quality is just exceptional. Really, I mean, and there's no weird, noise or glitches, those kinds of things. And if you connect an expression pedal, it can be, other functions can be controlled via foot switch, rather than hitting, this first button twice and that kind of thing. So let's try just another loop. I'm not sure what. Okay, we'll try an improvised loop. I'm just gonna pick random sounds on the Soulman MIDI controller that I had programmed in, and we'll create a loop that way. I don't know what it'll give us, but we'll try it. So I'm just gonna pick some random sounds here, and we'll just improvise a little loop here. And here I'll just put in a basically, what you have here is the equivalent of an RC5 minus the built-in drum machine, MIDI control, and LCD display. But other than that, it basically functions, almost the same way as the RC5. So the RC1, I think, is really worthwhile. And it's a great practice tool, right? And it's a lot of fun too. I mean, and you can come up with things, say, well, I don't know if this will work, but just guitar-wise. So I could loop that, just creating a loop, just with random sounds, trying out different things. A great way to learn playing guitar too, and practicing. I also really like, playing a loop that I've created, let it play for a little while, to try to figure out what kind of mood or atmosphere it's trying to create. And what I really like about these little Boss stations is the sound quality. It's just really great. I mean, it's silent, noise-wise, and the sound quality is just really great, in the stereo there, and lots of looping time, I've erased the loop. Okay, so there you go. This is the Boss RC1 loop pedal, and I'm really impressed with it. It has, the core functionality of the Boss series of looping pedals. Very similar to the RC5. And in fact, if you compare the two, obviously the RC5 has a little drum machine built in, and it's real basic. Also, you can save a whole bunch of loops on it to be retrieved later, which is not really necessary. Of course, it has the LCD display on the RC5, which is missing on the RC1. But if you're not doing any kind of MIDI control or saving and recalling preset loops and things, you don't really need that, And I was quite impressed with the LCD or LED display, the little circle, It's a lot better than I thought it would be. I'll tell you that much right now. It's real bright, easy to see, and it's organized very simply. And of course, you've got stereo inputs and outputs on both units. There's just nothing bad to say about that. I would highly recommend this, and as far as the MIDI control on the RC5 is very nice, of course, if you're using a MIDI controller, or for tempo type things, if you're going to, sync to a drum machine or that kind of thing. But for just ordinary looping, this is a great little unit. And in fact, I often find I'm so used to the looping things that if I've got a couple pedals set up and they don't have a looper, I kind of look for it even though it's not there, which is surprising. Very, very useful and a really cool pedal, I think. Highly recommended, and I mean, for the price, it's $119, at least at the making of this video. Can't be beat, really. I mean, it's just real simple, straight ahead unit. Alright, so something to think about if you're looking for a loop pedal. And I love the idea that it has stereo inputs and outputs, especially at this price. Alright, very good. See you next time. Okay, bye.